So LEGO just officially revealed Minifigures Series 28, which releases January 1st, 2026. This is a theme series for costumed animals, which we get in so many different series already. Why do we need a whole series of these? Now look, when they did a whole space series, I was blown away by how diverse and how interesting each of the minifigures in that series was. That was a great surprise. This, on the other hand, is kind of what I expected. Not to say there aren't some great pieces here and some fun designs here and there. First of which would be this Goldfish, the design of which has a completely new mask piece, which I quite like. I really like the fin detailing at the back of that piece as it extends below the torso. I also like the use of the shark fin piece, which this is the first time we're getting that in that orange coloring. What I think might be my favorite part, though, is the fish food 1x1 cylinder piece. That's just a really useful print outside of this setting. Notice how they use printed mid-legs and even the torso is printed, which is neat. And you could switch between a really cheerful face with the eyes closed and a face where they're still smiling but the eyes are opened. The same piece is used for a Dolphin minifigure. It's actually using that color, I believe, that the shark used. The design having a completely new dolphin mask piece, also with a tail extension at the back. The clam and little jewel 1x1 are a very interesting accessory. And I'm not sure this one has an alternate face. This Parrot minifigure is one of the better ones of this series because I really like the multicoloring on the chicken arm attachment. I like the snack box for Parrot snacks. That's also something that could be useful outside of this setting. A nice print. The design for that new Parrot mask piece, fits the costume. It's exactly what I would expect. It is kind of lame that they don't even have a solid piece for the tail attachment, but rather it's seemingly two cloth pieces. But I do like the dual molding leg color arrangement there. The neutral face here is pretty distinct, like with the makeup and everything there, the thicker lipstick. I like that. But I really love the alternate face, which could be used for somebody singing, and we don't really have much prints for faces like that. The Peacock, on the other hand, has an extremely generic face on both sides. New Peacock mask piece, though, that's a recolor and reprinting of the turkey tail piece, which attaches at the hips. That's kind of cool. You have the chicken arm piece once again, but in a blue coloring. Nice dual molded legs arrangement as well. The accessory being a sunflower is fine. I guess it's nice to get this top piece in the cheap CMF series. This pairing's one of the better pairings of the series. The frog suit is actually a suit that I've seen people wear as like a meme. The design having a completely new mask piece, which I guess you could say that with like every character in this series. The design of the face might be my favorite part, where they're blowing a bubble. That's an expression we just don't get from minifigures, so that's really funny. The alternate face is much more neutral. The design also has an extremely useful 1x1 cylinder for bubbles. That's nice for somebody who just wants to go out and blow bubbles, but I really love how they have this simple build with this piece that has been used for paddles before, with a bulb attachment in that specific clear coloring. That works so well as a little bubble blowing stick. You can see how there's some arm printing and some leg printing as well. Like I said, probably one of my favorites of the series. And I think I could probably say the same with the Gator as well. That new mask piece is lovely on how it goes down to the tail right there. The design having a great sculpt to it. The winky face is a little bit different, like the lipstick color is really distinct there. And she has an alternate expression with a big smile. Then there's a completely new piece for a life preserver, which is very useful outside of this setting. Some printing on the torso and the legs, specifically with the feet. And there's even the existing rubber ducky piece. So yeah, both of those are pretty great. Also note how all of these characters have a green base, which I love when they change up the color for the minifigure bases of this series. There's a Dalmation design, which, hey, those arms are another design that you could use for Spot from the Spider-Verse set. We got that with that one bluey Dalmation, and this is a different print from that character, so that's super useful. This is only going to be a $5 figure, so that's really awesome. Same goes with the legs as well, being distinct from the spot version. The face print, I really like the tongue sticking out design. That's a really great, weird expression. And the alternate face is much more neutral and kind of whatever, but you get a nice smirk there. The accessory actually has a new printed 2x2 frisbee. Well, I guess they can't legally call it a frisbee, which has a little reference to the sports series that's shown up in a couple city sets. New mask piece. It's very similar to the pug that we got from a previous series, but it's not the same. Also, the tail piece is a clever recolor of the T-Rex tail, so that's really nice to get in that color. We have a cat costume, which is also an idea that we've gotten in previous CMF series. The Series 18 one is the only one that comes to mind. The design here actually uses a slightly different mask piece than that version. So at least we get a new one here, like with the Dalmation. I like the torso print, which has a little collar on it. Dang, if that was unprinted, that would just be a cute little choker to have with a minifigure. Reissue of the cat twink yarn piece, same color. First time we're getting that tail piece that they've even used for Rocket Raccoon in white, which is really neat. And I actually really like the face print with this character, which has like a sleeping design, and there's like a distinct mole on there and some bright pink lipstick. The alternate face is smirking. The koala suit minifigure has a completely new koala mask. The design having a pretty distinct face with like a long smile and some eyeliner. I don't know if there's an alternate face though. None of the pictures show such. Torso print is new and fits the koala design. And there's plain light bluish gray mid legs, which are not exclusive but pretty uncommon. The accessories give us the cheapest way to get the boomerang in that color, which was only used in like 2 more expensive 2025 sets, like much more expensive. The design of the plant is extremely common, but I guess it fits the character. I quite like the sculpt for the lion mask design for this lion minifigure, with the mane being very prominent there, but you also get a completely new piece for a tail. That's really cool. I mean, the colors here remind me of Simba, honestly. The design having some new torso printing and leg printing. The meat accessory is kind of lame since that's such a common and old piece. Give me something a little bit more interesting. But I do like the roaring facial expression and the generic confident smirk with some freckles and like thick eyebrows. That's a pretty distinct face print. There's a new monkey mask with the monkey minifigure. The design having the monkey tail from Monkey Kid that faces to the side. New torso and leg printing. A banana accessory, which, yeah, very common, but that completely makes sense. Would have been cool to get like a banana accessory with some printing at the stem, but I guess since that's where the minifigure holds the piece, maybe that wouldn't have been a good idea. I don't know. Maybe they could have used a base brown design and then paint over it with some yellow for that base design. I'm thinking too hard about this, you know? But I do like the face print where you have the tongue sticking out there. But what's interesting is that one of them has a tongue sticking out. And if you look at the alternate facial expression, it's like a generic smile. But the generic smile has like a band-aid, and it doesn't look like the tongue sticking out design has a band-aid. Maybe it's just being covered by the mask here, but it's weird how one side has a band-aid. I don't know what's going on there. And the last minifigure is a bunny. The design having a new bunny mask piece, which previously for Series 7, we got a bunny guy. And we've seen variants of that bunny mask with characters like my crush, March Harriet, or like that one promo box Easter set, which I gotta compare to the egg in this set. The egg in that set had printing all around. The egg in this set just has printing on one side. That's a little bit disappointing, but I do like the print for the egg in this set. It's just weird that a set from so many years ago has better printing than the printing for this egg, but I guess it was really only needed for one side. The design having a face print that seemingly is for a child with some freckles there and a very happy grin. You got buck teeth going on there. I'm not sure the alternate facial expression. It doesn't seem like any of these pictures show an alternate facial expression for that character. You do have a new torso print as well, and tan mid legs. Also notice a tail printed at the back. So yeah, if I had to pick my favorites of this series, it'd probably be the Gator, the Frog, the Lion, and the Goldfish. But I'm just not in love with this series. I don't really care for the animal mascot suits, which we've seen since the early days of CMFs, and they appear in most series. They're so specific to just being these people in an animal mascot, and I like minifigures that can be used for a lot of different situations. When you get new pieces, I like pieces that can be used for a lot of different situations, unless it's specialized to, say, a licensed character. However, there's still plenty of nice pieces and prints that you could think outside the box and include with different characters and things like that. Anyways, let me know which of these is your favorite, and if you're not as hot on this series as I am, because I'm just like, yeah, I could have just used a generic Series 28. Subscribe here because there's tons of 2026 LEGO reveals coming out. You're going to want to put the bell notification on. Even tonight, there's going to be more reveals. So stay tuned and check out the reveals from yesterday. Seriously, you liking and commenting helps so much with this channel and the algorithm. Peace out. Bye.